And thanks for joining me today. And today we're going to be talking about how to register for classes using Schedule Planner. So the first thing that you're going to do is log into your MyUSI homepage. You can go to my.usi.edu or portal.usi.edu, sign in. And then once you get to the portal, you're going to click on the Student Apps tab and then Self-Service. From there, you'll click on the Students tab and then scroll down to Schedule Planning Tool. And then you'll select the term. And you're going to be selecting the term that you plan on registering for. So right now it's fall 25, but we're going to be registering for spring 26. So we'll select that, and then you'll click Save. Normally it'll ask you to select the campus. Generally speaking, we're going to be selecting Maine, Hybrid, and Distance Ed, and then you're going to click Save. Then your advisor might have already put some courses into your schedule planner for you to look at. But I'm also going to include some other courses here as well. So let's pretend that you just met with your advisor and these are the courses that they're suggesting that you take for spring. In here you'll see the classes will be here. If you click on the blue eye, it's going to show you the description of the course. And then if you click on options, it's going to give you all the days and times that the course is offered for spring. So for example, for Art 104, there's 3 different sections offered. The first one is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. The second one is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday 11 to 12:50, and the third one is Monday, Wednesday from 6 to 8:45. And these are all going to be in person because the campus is Maine. And then if you know that there's a day or time that you don't really want to have class, for example, maybe you'd rather get your classes done during the day, you can go ahead and deselect the option that you don't want to have. Or if you're okay with all 3 of these options, you can leave it checked. You can go down the list here for each class and start looking. For example, if you know that you don't want an 8 a.m., go ahead and deselect those section times. Then you'll see down here, if you've selected the distance education option as well, you'll see in N01, and it'll say distance education and web. These are courses that are going to be offered online. So if you're okay with an online class, but maybe you don't want your English class online, go ahead and deselect those options. And then you can kind of go down the list and do that. You can also add a break. So for example, this would be times that you don't want to have class. So for example, maybe you want to sleep in a little bit more on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You don't want to have classes until 10 a.m. So I'll go ahead and put that break in. And then I won't schedule any classes between that time. It won't start until after that. And then if you click on Generate Schedules, it'll still say that there's a ton more schedule options to look through. So sometimes you have to continue going through some of the options. And so for example, with sociology, let's say I do want to have sociology online. And then each time that you make a change, you'll need to click the Regenerate Schedules button. And then now you can see we've gotten it down to under 300 schedules. So I'd recommend getting it down to around 50 or 100 by playing around with the options up here. Let's just say you're okay with looking through some of these schedules. If you hover on the magnifying glass, it will show kind of like a calendar view, or you can click on the View button and it's going to show you what these courses look like in your schedule. So up here it'll show those classes, it'll show how many seats are still left, as well as the campus that it's going to be offered on, whether that's Maine, Hybrid, or Distance Education, as well as how many credit hours it is. Down here it'll show you the kind of a week at a glance of the courses. So you'll see all of these courses are full 17-week courses other than the kinesiology course. So if we click on it for 1, this is what your weekly calendar view is going to look like during that first week of classes. Then if we click on week 10, for example, it'll add that kinesiology course, since the kinesiology is only going to be for the second 7 weeks. You can also click on the buttons up here to look through the different schedules. And then let's say you're really happy with this schedule. What you can do is click on this heart button and click OK. And then if you click back onto favorites and click on view, you'll see that will be on here. And then whenever it's your time to register, you can come back to Schedule Planner, find the favorited schedule, make sure that it still says that there's seats open for all these courses. If there's not, you'll need to look at a different section option. But let's say it's your time to register now in October and you're fine with this schedule, you're happy with it. You're going to go ahead and click on Send to Shopping Cart. From there, it's going to ask you to select the terms open for registration. Right now, it just has Fall 25. That's because registration for spring hasn't opened yet. It'll open during the week of October 20th. Pretend like I'm going to select Spring 26, because that's the term that you're going to be registering for. So I'm going to click the correct term and then click the Continue button. And then it's going to load up a new screen. It may ask you to also agree to the terms and conditions, and from there you will click the text that says registration agreement for the correct academic year, and then you are going to read the registration agreements, agree to it, and then click continue in the top right hand corner. And then it should bring you to register for classes. From here, you're going to click on the Plans tab. And then it's going to show you the classes that you sent to the plans from Schedule Planner. And from here, you're going to click the Add All button. Once you click the Add All button, they will then populate in the summary. Under the status, it will say Pending. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, that is then when you will click the Submit button. And then if you're successful, the status will say Registered in green, and then it will show the correct number of hours there that you've registered for. Now, if you run into any issues with registering, or if a class is full, if you're unsure if you registered, or if you're on the wait list, please contact your advisor so we can either troubleshoot or look at a different course option. But that is the basics of kind of how to register using Schedule Planner. Again, please consult your advisor for guidance as far as what classes you should be registering for, what sections, or if you just have any other questions regarding your academic plan or your classes. But congratulations, you've made it through, and we look forward to having a successful semester with you. Thank you.